So pleased to see you.
His demeanour is not that of a man under pressure or sensing he's about to be pressured.
Beautiful one.
A studious host, keen his visitors enjoy their trip.
Yes, it's a magnificent city.
Almost 4 years ago, President Putin sat at this table to deny he was about to invade Ukraine. The next day, he did. Now he's talking about peace without any sign of it and denying any plan to go to war with Europe, whilst warning he is ready if they do. Tasked with negotiating peace between Russia and Ukraine, Trump's envoys, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, were getting a tour of Moscow from one of President Putin's advisors ahead of their meeting with him. At the same time, he was accusing Ukraine and its European allies of blocking the peace. There was little sign of conciliation on the battlefield either. In Pokrovsk, Ukraine's embattled fortress city, Russian troops today raised their flag, claiming to have seized the area. The timing clearly plays to Trump's peace through strength narrative, even if more suggestive of strength than peace. The Ukrainians deny the land has been taken. At a summit in Ireland today, President Zelensky insisted that peace was still possible, but that he wanted a true end, not just a pause to the fighting. Amid talk of peace, they bade farewell to another of those who died for Ukraine today, another who will not know how the battle he fought will end. Anatoly was killed last week in Pokrovsk. He was 44. He served alongside his son, who will now serve without him. He is one of hundreds of thousands lost to this war. And without success in these talks, there will be many more.
And Emma, those talks in Moscow ended in the last hour. No sign of progress on the main issues. Does this leave us waiting now to see what President Trump has to say?
Indeed, and Steve Witkoff headed from the meeting to the US Embassy, and it is likely from there he will be in contact with President Trump, probably around about now, explaining how that meeting went. It was 5 hours. It was probably longer than many people expected. The Russians have started their briefings already. They say that the meeting was useful, it was constructive and meaningful and potentially productive. But it came along with another big warning that they didn't find any compromise on territory, which is one of the key issues, and that there was going to have to be more conversations with President Trump. They have said that they've sent messages back to the president and they expect to get a response from him. I think the Ukrainians will still have their very deep concerns about the nature of this meeting. Of course, Steve Witkoff has been to Russia 6 times to meet with them. He's not even come to Ukraine once. And the fact that Marco Rubio, the US Secretary of State, who has a deeper understanding and potentially a deeper sympathy with the Ukrainians, wasn't in the room, wasn't even on the trip to the Kremlin, is of great concern to them. We've had reports over the past few hours that the Witkoff-Kushner delegation were likely to meet with President Zelensky somewhere in Europe over the coming days. The Russians are suggesting that is not the case, that they've asked them to go straight back to Washington to speak with President Trump. That will only add to that sense here in Ukraine that the sympathy is towards the Kremlin and not towards this country. And just a note on how this leaves the peace, well, at this point tonight, most of this country is under air alert, so it certainly hasn't changed anything on the ground so far.